Alright, so in this lesson we're actually going to start putting in some color, but we've got a lot of extra layers over here that will kind of muddy things up. And so we can sort of rearrange these and make it a little bit more organized. So you can see that if you hit the three dot symbol just below the window, there is a select multiple option. So I'm going to select multiple, and then the blue one here that's selected, that one's already checked, this tight sketch. But I'm also going to check the one below it and the one below that. And then click the little folder button. You can see it's highlighted over here on the right. That's going to group all of those together. And then we can drag them down to the bottom of the image, or just above the background, actually. And that way they're out of the way and we don't really have to worry about it. I'm going to leave this one in place because we'll use that selection. So we're going to put the first colors actually underneath all of these shadows we've created already. So I'm going to go down to the layer below my shadows and click the plus sign, and now we've got a new layer there. Now I'm just going to fill this with a color, okay? It doesn't really matter what color you use. I'm thinking this is going to be like a warm environment. So I'm just going to pick like kind of a middle of the road reddish orange color. Go to the fill tool or the bucket tool, and we're going to click, and it's going to ask if you want a vector or pixel. We're going to choose pixel. Now you can see this looks a little weird because the shadows aren't doing what we want them to do. So we're going to go to the shadows layer, and we're going to go up to the layer properties and change the blending mode to multiply. And we're going to leave that in that mode for the rest of this time. And what this does, as you can see, is it'll actually blend the colors that are in the shadows with the colors that are underneath. So personally, I like to start with the background first and kind of establish all of those colors and then kind of work it up from there once we've established that. So on this layer that we've just put down this color, we can go ahead and paint in the sky and the mountain and some of these other things as well. And in order to not worry about painting on the guy, so I'm going to click that layer with his silhouette, load as selection, which again will load up the guy, and then we're going to hit the inverse of this right here under the selection options. That's going to show us our background. And now I can get a brighter color, let's say whatever I want my sky to be. And let's say I want it to be a little bit orange, a little bit brighter, and I'll get kind of a big... maybe a big soft airbrush. We'll go to the basic section, soft round opacity. We can push this way up and kind of start adding a little bit of that in from the top. And I don't really mind that it's blending a little bit with my mountains and stuff because it's all headed in the same direction, right? But yeah, so yeah, we got a nice little gradient there with a big brush. And then we can come down. I'm going to switch back to the marker chisel I was using earlier. So I'll just keep the same brush. I'm going to turn the flow up some. The flow was turned down a little bit. And yeah, you can see how that's kind of coming in the back here. And bringing some of these colors in the sky down to the ground. And we can go ahead and make this moon bright. We'll make it even brighter color. Get a brush that I can see better. I'm going back to the kohl pencil here for a second. Now, one thing I want to point out real quick that I like to do sometimes is to change the color of the lines in the art, you know? So like if I wanted to make that highlight around the sun a different color, or if I wanted to make these little, you know, jagged, you know, image symbols a different color, I'm going to deselect my selection so there's nothing selected. We're going to go to the final drawing and make a new layer above it. And then if you click that layer, and then you see this little symbol right here that's right below the eyeball. It looks like a little square with an arrow pointing down. If you click that, you'll see how it puts a little arrow next to the layer above the drawing. So this means that this layer is clipped to this layer. Okay, this is a clipping mask attached to this layer. So anything that we do on this new clipping mask is going to be contained to the original drawing down there, regardless of where I color. Okay, like you can see if I make this brush really big, it's only coloring the lines. Okay, so that's a cool effect that you can do for things like the sun, or maybe I wanted these little, you know, radio signals to be a different color. And it's a nice way to do some special effects, and we'll probably do his little his glass bowl thing a little bit later too. But just a little side note, you can also do that for things that are way off in the background if you want to make it look like, you know, they're far off in the background. So what I like to do sometimes is I'll hold on the screen and get the darkest color in the background and then get just a little bit darker than that, okay? Like, it doesn't have to be very dark. A little bit more saturated, maybe add some red. And again, as long as I'm on this clipping mask, anything that I do is staying in the line. So I can actually tint. You can see how these lines are now being tinted that brown color instead of black. So this is one way that you could go in and fill all this, is just literally paint over it like this. Or you could switch to the lasso and draw around, make a big selection of all of that, and just fill it with a color. And that'll also stick it to the line. So as long as you're on that clipping mask, it will stay contained to whatever is on the drawing below it. And if we unclip this by clicking the button again, you can see what we actually drew looks like this. But as long as you click that clip button, it will stay stuck to the lines. Now what I think I want to do here is actually separate the sky from the mountains and get a little bit more separation between, you know, these mountains and the sky. That'll give us some more depth. And so, you know, we could paint around all of this again, but I'm actually going to switch to the lasso and zoom up, and I'm actually going to trace out the silhouette of the mountains. Now, you can also, if you don't want to draw, you can just click. Like right now, I'm clicking and it's making straight lines. Unless you screw it up like I just did. But anyway, lasso, and you'll see this will really make nice clean edges for our mountains. And and you might wonder, like, well, why aren't you going all the way through it before you select, close it? To me, it's too easy to lose the whole selection that way. Like, if you make one mistake, then it can be hard to redo. So what I like to do is just do these little loops on the screen that I can see. They're comfortable for my hand. I'm not gonna accidentally mess up the whole thing too bad. I mean, you can always undo and erase and redo and all that stuff. And again, I don't really have to worry. I'm going to kind of select through him because we're going to use that selection trick to paint around him. All right. I think that's all this. So once we get the edge, we can just go all the way down and get all of this stuff on the bottom. Now, if I invert that, go to the 3 dots and invert it. Now I just have the sky selected. So I think I'm going to do this on a layer above, just make it a little bit easier. So make a new layer. And when you're choosing colors, you never just want to go to the color picker and randomly pick a color and hope that it works. Okay. The first thing you want to do is figure out where that color needs to be, value-wise. How bright does it need to be? Because that's going to narrow it down. Like, I know for a fact that my sky is going to be lighter than the ground because it's always lighter than the ground, okay? As long as the sun is out. So I know my color needs to be lighter than the ground and darker than the sun. So that gives me a pretty narrow range. So I'm just going to hold down on the sky here with my finger, pick that color. So if I know my original color was about here, I'm just going to make it a little bit brighter. We'll tint it a little bit toward yellow. And again, I'm just going to get a big, soft, round brush. I need to make that one of my favorites because I use it all the time. So basic and soft, round with opacity. I'm going to put a star next to it so it's all in my little favorites here. And again, real big brush. And I'm going to lightly start putting this in. I'm just barely touching the canvas right now. And then I can keep tapping along the bottom, make it a little bit brighter. Like the atmosphere is going back that way. And you can already see it immediately starts to look a lot more like we've got some depth here, we've got some distance and things. Now, if you're, wondering, well, why did we paint over the guy, right? So, I actually didn't paint it on the right layer. I painted it on the other layer. It doesn't really matter. So, it'll make my point easier to make. So let's deselect this. And now I'm going to click on that silhouette layer again that we made, the one with the little picture of him. I'm going to load that as a selection. And now I could do this on the original painting layer here, or I could do it on a new layer. Either way is going to work. my sky that I was going to put on this layer, I actually painted on this one. So it doesn't really matter. We'll just put the guy on this layer. So I'm just going to grab a kind of a bright color or a brighter color, and we'll fill all that in for him. Now we can deselect him, and we've got our environment done pretty well, I think. I kind of like how this looks. And also on this layer here that has all of our background colors, I will sometimes get the color of the sky, and we'll raise the size of this brush a little bit. I'm going to lower the flow down a little bit. And if you have, for example, like we've got a plane of clouds here, right here. Well, you can't see that brush very well, can you? Right here. And then we've got a plane of I said plane of clouds. I meant plane of mountains. So we got a plane of mountains here, and then we've got a plane in front. So like what I like to do sometimes is to take that sky color, and you can introduce that into let me get a different brush. Yeah, so I'm going to lower the flow way down so it's not coming out very much. And this is a good color to use in things that you want to look a little further off, you know? And if I color this one with a lighter color, it sort of makes that, you know, look like it's a little bit further away. And I kind of like the markery effect on this. You know, it's kind of got a cool effect. But if you don't like that, you can do something like, you know, go to a smudge tool or something. And then, you know, kind of blur all this back together a little bit if you don't like the texture. But now that mountain looks like it might be a little bit further away than the rest of them, you know. You could even go in and lighten some of those further lines that are way back here on that same plane. You see how this line here that I'm painting is a little bit lighter than the mountains in the front. Even changing the line will help that effect, make it look like it's further away.